Today, we would like to present to you the RM1180, the latest addition to the RM line. The RM line consists of 5 boats from the 890 at 29 feet to the 1370 at 45 feet. We will have the opportunity to come back to the line later. RM makes very distinctive boats. They have a solid reputation on the European market and especially on the French market. One key feature sets them apart. The structure and hull are in epoxy-infused plywood. This material is often perceived as a little weird, strange, or exotic. Though plywood manufacturing is in fact quite complex, RM engineers and craftsmen have mastered these techniques, with fantastic results for users, sailors, and cruisers alike. Lighter and more rigid than composite, plywood has real performance advantages, as well as creating that unique wood atmosphere. A boat made of wood is much drier and more pleasant to live in. At RM, we source our wood from ecologically responsible suppliers. So, from an environmental point of view, wood couldn't be better. So, to put it all together, a wooden boat from RM means high performance, lightweight, rigidity, comfort, and a pleasant living space, as well as a minimal environmental impact compared to petroleum-based materials. Here we are in front of the RM1180, the latest addition to the RM line. At 39 to 40 feet, it is a magnificent boat with extremely sleek lines. The design is clearly inspired by offshore racing boats like the Class 40 and the Imoca 60, while retaining the ease of use of a family cruising sailboat. It is certainly faster, much faster than the average cruising yachts, but remains easy to handle single-handed with a small crew or with a family. We can see these magnificent lines most distinctly in the inverted sheer. The sheer is the line which runs from the bow to the transom, which traditionally curves up at both ends, while on RM boats it is slightly inverted. This increases the volume forward and tapers the transom. The transom is both very wide at almost 4.5 meters and very low, like on a Class 40 or an Imoca. The second distinctive design element is this step, which starts out thin at the transom and widens towards the bow. It is a sort of stepped freeboard that breaks traditional lines once again and is inspired by some recent Imocas, seen in particular competing in the Vendée Globe. There is a large forward volume designed to optimize planing. There is a fairly large volume below the waterline, while the forefoot and bow are above the waterline. Our priority is planing capacity rather than waterline length, so as to improve performance, especially downwind. Another very important design feature is the elegant line of the coach roof. It has a very refined forward line, highlighted by the windshield, which, from the inside, gives fantastic 180-degree visibility. The line is gently inclined, very elegant, very sleek. The eye follows the continuous flow of the coach roof line straight to the cockpit coaming and onto the transom. This flowing line that runs continuously from the bow to the stern is the real design signature of the RM1180. It gives the boat a unique and recognizable silhouette, both distinguished and dynamic. Here we are at the aft deck, at the rear of the RM1080's cockpit. This cockpit has a wide beam, a powerful hull beneath it, and a relatively low stern. This elegant design does not come at the expense of safety or nautical performance. There are 2 wheels and a grab rail in front of each one, this time not inspired by the Imoca, but rather by the VOR 65 or VOR 70. It serves as an instrumentation mount, as protection, and a good handhold for the helmsman when the seas are rough. Inspiration from offshore racing can also be found in some of the smaller details. They are not simply aesthetic choices or some kind of marketing ploy, but are ergonomically efficient and functional. Here we are at the Companionway, with all the maneuvers at hand, including all the halyards and sheets. One special feature are the large inboard-mounted Genoa winches, which are usually found on the coaming, which leads to poor or even dangerous ergonomics when heeled over, placing the crew on the edge of the cockpit. But aboard an RM, safety and ergonomics are well thought out. It is possible to winch standing up in complete safety, without hurting your back and with all the necessary force. The RM shipyard has built its reputation on our ability to adapt our boats to users' and owners' cruising style, to their wishes and desires. The first and most visible customization is color. The second is on the foredeck, with the choice of rigging. On the purple boat to your right, there is a more standard rig with an aluminum mast, a cutter rig with a fixed furling staysail. On this boat, we have more of a performance rig with a sportier look. The bow rail is painted in matte black instead of polished stainless steel. There is no fixed staysail, and the mast is in carbon. The sails are more sophisticated and high-tech, and there is a flat deck furler. In short, the boat's sail plan, ergonomics, and maneuvers, and therefore its rigging, are adapted according to the wishes and desires of each client. Another specificity of the RM brand is the type of appendage. We are one of the few, perhaps the only shipyard, to offer such a large range of appendages. The DNA of the RM brand has meant that from the beginning we have made twin keel boats with relatively long keels with cutting-edge designs. RM has even designed high-performance twin keel boats that have retained all the advantages of the twin keels. A relatively small draft, and of course the ability to dry out the boat either on a quay or at low tide. So the first choice of appendage is generally the twin keel with one rudder. The second type of appendage, for our customers looking for a little better performance, is the classic fixed single keel with two rudders. The most common configuration for a fast, high-performance boat. The third possibility is the lifting keel. An option available on our larger models, including the RM 1070 at 36 feet, the 1180, and the 1370. The lifting keel has the deepest draft, at more than 3 meters on certain models, so it really does optimize performance. At the same time, the draft is less than 1 meter when the keel is raised. It is a frequently requested option by our customers. Going inside the cabin of an RM is a special experience. The Companionway has the extremely pleasant and important characteristic of having a gentle slope. One can step up and down without difficulty. It is not steep like a ladder. It is a companionway with only 3 steps at a particularly gentle angle. The advantage of this design becomes clear while sailing, where there is a lot of going up and going down, going from the cockpit to the cabin and vice versa. Another fundamental characteristic of the boat is the 180-degree visibility. This changes things completely. The boat is full of bright natural light and is very pleasant to live in. The forward visibility is comfortable, pleasing, and helps reduce seasickness, and above all, is a valuable safety feature. When using the autopilot, which is a good part of the time, we sometimes need to go into the cabin. The forward visibility allows for uninterrupted vigilance and optimized security. Offering 180-degree visibility is really a key feature on all RM boats, and we think it's great. The windshield is a real engineering challenge that other manufacturers prefer not to offer, but here at RM we are quite fond of it. Another key feature on all RM boats, though it is not visible, is the good feeling you get when you are inside the cabin. The atmosphere is pleasant. There are no unpleasant odors, and it is very dry. It is quite simple to explain. The deck and roof have a multi-layer construction. The deck is made of polyester. It is then fully lined with a thin sheet of plywood, but between them is a void. So you have the deck topside, a 3 centimeter void, and a sheet of plywood, which all insulate the entire boat. As a result, wherever you are inside the boat, you are always surrounded by wood. It is like being inside a sort of comfortable bubble. Paradoxically, though, inside a boat with a wooden structure, we opted for an extremely minimalist interior design. The atmosphere is modern, very pleasant to live in, very practical and calm. This minimalist design concept led us to use, as you can see, very light colors for the walls and even the flooring. Of course, just as with the rigging, there is a wide range of customization options available to meet the needs and expectations of our customers, including the color of the slipcovers. We do what it takes to create an interior that suits you, while remaining true to our modern and elegant style. Now let's have a look at another of the boat's many great features, the galley. Those of you who sail know that this is someplace where one spends a lot of time. It needs to be functional above all else. Whether when you are at anchor preparing a good meal, or especially when you're at sea, the galley has to be efficient. Everything needs to be right at hand, and the cook has to be secured in place. At RM, the galley is the focal point of the cabin. It faces forward for comfort. It is located just at the foot of the companionway, so that it is easy to pass a drink or something to eat to the crew in the cockpit. The worktops are spacious, with high fiddles that keep your food and your plates securely in place. Life on board centers around the galley, whether under sail or at anchor. When things are working well in the galley, we get the impression that everything is going well. That is why RM is consistently working to optimize galley functionality. But our focus on functionality isn't limited to the galley. There is also the chart table, facing forward as it should be, and also at the foot of the companionway so as to communicate easily with the cockpit. It is designed to be functional. It is wide with tall fiddles, and the electrical equipment and instrument panel are close at hand. As electronics have replaced paper charts, chart tables have generally been reduced in size. This is not the case on an RM. A real chart table must be a real workspace, a real office for the skipper, a place where one can think about navigation and carefully calculate a route. An RM chart table is functionally optimized with storage spaces and, though not present on this unit, plenty of space to add control panels and electronics. The RM 1180 is available in 2 versions, with 2 or 3 cabins. The 2-cabin model has a technical room, and all are equipped with a head. The forward cabin is the owner's cabin. It takes advantage of the large forward volume in the hull. The cabin is wide and spacious, with pleasing volumes. This cabin is full of natural light. There is a large deck hatch and large side portholes on either side of the berth. There is also plenty of storage space, with shelves, cubbies, and a wardrobe to port. The aft cabin is also very spacious and bright, with 3 opening portals plus a fixed hull window. The ample headroom is the result of a purposeful design decision. There are no lockers under the cockpit benches. Indeed, the lockers in the cockpit are built into the aft deck at the transom. They are very spacious and easily accessible. The cabin takes advantage of the entire available volume. Here we are in the technical room. This space, in the starboard quarter, can serve as a technical room or be equipped as a spacious and comfortable cabin. But we are very keen on this technical room because in a boat, one needs storage space, and as you can see, here there are many lockers and even a sail shelf. But we also need access to technical equipment. For example, on this boat, there is a water maker that is easily accessible. Through this hatch, there is access to the tanks, to the engine exhaust system, to the 220-volt electrical panel, and to all the electrical wiring. Through another hatch located under the companionway, there is direct access to the engine. This technical room is as well a key RM feature, though in the end it is up to the client and how they plan to use the boat. They may decide on a beautiful double cabin or a technical room. As a cabin, it is possible to equip it with a double berth, 2 single berth bunks, or a medium 110 centimeter berth and a bunk. In short, there are several equipment options. As you have seen, an RM is unique, a special boat. They are different from others by the design of the living space, the comfort on board, by their sailing performance, and by their original design. It is also possible to adapt the rigging and interior to just what you're looking for, as close as possible to your dreams, as close as possible to your desires. To move forward with your project, please contact us. It would be a great pleasure to show you around our shipyard and give you a chance to discover how our technicians build these boats, a technique that is unique in the world. If you can't come to Lorient, please contact one of our agents in France or abroad. We would enjoy getting in touch with you, hearing about your dream, and getting started on making it a reality.